Hey, what's up? This is Chris Wise, and welcome to my Wise Insight of the Day. Today I'm going to be sharing a story that I actually haven't really shared much before, maybe one-on-one with friends, but never from stage, and never in a live video or on Facebook that I shared about this. You know, I had a lot of, when I was in prison, I had a lot of very spiritually awakening experiences, and one of those was a Kundalini awakening. Now, prior to prison, I had been on, a spiritual journey for 10 years and had done a lot of different spiritual workshops and read spiritual books, and I was aware of what a Kundalini awakening was, and I had done things like Kundalini yoga and different things like that. And so what happened, so each day I was in my cell, I was sitting and meditating, and, I'd meditate 2 to 4 hours a day, and also doing this I love you practice that I've talked about before. And so one day I was sitting in my cell and, doing the meditation, and all of a sudden, from the back of my spine, I felt this explosion, like coming from the lower back of my spine, exploding out of the top of my head, and it was like this massive amount of energy. And I was like, oh, as I was doing this, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And I felt it exploding out of the top of my head, this energy, and almost like raining down back on top of me. It was the most incredible, wildest experience I had ever had. I mean, it was just like, it felt surreal to have this energy shoot up the back of my spine, explode out of my head, and then like it was raining back down on top of me. Like there was like literally, and it was bliss. It was like massive, massive, massive amounts of bliss. And it lasted for 2 hours. And so I'm just sitting here and I'm bawling. And like I'm telling you, I turned the lights off and I'm just sitting in my cell just bawling and crying for 2 hours. This whole experience is happening. And it was just, it was mind-blowing. And there was nothing, like I didn't have control over it. I know there's people that are on a spiritual journey and looking to have these types of experiences. There was nothing I did that I didn't have control over when it happened. But I feel like when I reflect back, right, to share with you kind of with the things I feel like I did that helped open up this experience. One, at this point I had been in prison for about a year, and I was sitting and meditating every day and doing this I love you practice for 2 to 4 hours a day. And so I feel like just sitting and feeling emotion, I was just feeling all this, a lifetime of unfelt emotion, feeling sadness, loneliness, boredom, fear. I was just feeling all of these different emotions, and I feel like what I was doing in my body is I was clearing the pathway. I was clearing all of this stuff that I'd been holding inside of my body. And so that is what allowed, I feel that's what allowed the energy for this Kundalini awakening to actually happen, was the willingness to feel this lifetime of unfelt emotion, and with the willingness to feel all of the emotion that my prison experience was bringing up, and also just sitting in a space of silence for such a long period of time. And so yeah, it's crazy. There was one other, so I actually had 2 Kundalini awakenings when I was in prison. That was the first one, and then there was another one that happened a little while later. It wasn't as profound or as dramatic, but yeah, so I wanted to share that with you guys, and that those things, if you hear about them, they're real. I had a direct experience of it in prison, and it's great to see you guys all on here, Kat and Kelly and Carolyn and Jeremy. So that's it for today, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.